It's a new year, a new season, and we are underway.
Really dominating fashion here today is going to win.
2, 3, 4 for the final time.
Win number 1 on the season, only just barely.
He is going to win here at the Nazareth Speedway.
Wins the Emerson Electric 100K.
Gonna be Igor Barretto's gonna eke it out.
Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Each year, the NOFSRL Cup Series begins its year-long journey at the World Center of Racing. And today, the NOFSRL Cup Series begins its 10th journey, its 10th season for the 2021 campaign. This is the Daytona 500 here from the Daytona International Raceway in the NOFSRL Cup Series Season number 10, presented by Hertz. Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 1 in season number 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series. We are here at the Daytona International Speedway for the running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. 50 laps of action around this 2.5-mile speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. And today is all about winning the race. It's the first race of the season. The championship right now does not matter to any of these drivers. For these 42 competitors here today, it's all about crossing the finish line first. But through all 50 laps today, they have to maneuver through the pack and avoid getting involved in an accident if they're going to have any chance at winning this race. Brad Stover starting on the pole for today's event. He won the pole on Wednesday. I'm joined alongside Matt Tuck and Justin Zidell for the call of this year's Great American Race. And Matt, we saw how crazy the duels were last night, or should I say Thursday night. It was a little while ago when we had those races. How do you think it's going to play out here in this Daytona 500, knowing that on the third lap of that second duel, they went 4 wide off the corner and wrecked early on?
Well, we'll definitely see a lot of that intensity carry over. They don't call it turn 4 wide for nothing. It is renowned for the absolute absurdity that comes out of that side of the racetrack, and surviving that, we were talking about it in qualifying. Whoever's not involved in any of that is probably going to be up front near the end of the race with a shot to win, so that's where you're going to want to be. And some would say, oh, you want to be Brad Stover up in the front, but we've seen here at this racetrack before, that's not even a safe place to be. So whoever can survive the turn 4 wide over there is going to be, in contention late in this race to win it.
Yeah, and Justin, you had a massive hit yesterday in the Turkey Hill National Series event, so you know exactly how it feels to get involved in one of those accidents. What do you do to avoid getting caught up in a 4-wide situation here at the Daytona International Speedway? Because it is more than likely going to happen at some point throughout this race. How do these drivers avoid that so they can stay in contention for the race victory?
I say you just got to drive really great. If you can just find a hole, take that risk, and make sure you do your best to slow down and avoid the wreck as much as you can, no matter what you have to do. Just have to be a great driver and do some great driving.
And these drivers will have to do some great driving to win this Daytona 500. Some of the biggest names who have ever run in this series have won this race, like the first time ever. Jesse Turner won in 2015. Nicholas Amadio won a month later in this race in the closest finish in NOFSRL Cup Series history. He starts in the 3rd position. Season 3 champion Cameron Garlington won here in Season 6. Cameron Garlington is also in this event. Same with Zachary Fitzwater, who won this race in Season 7. And last year's Daytona 500 champion Alexander Rose starting up in the field in the 11th position. All of those drivers going for their 2nd Daytona 500 win. Looking to tie Josh Marzak as the only 2 drivers to win multiple Daytona 500s. But Matt, there are so many other drivers in this event who want to win this race, and guys who have been in nearly every single one, like Matt Dallio in the number 75. Cody Sill's been in a lot of these races, and then we have some rookie drivers who may steal the show, like Joe Rakowski. Brock Nelson, who won his dual race yesterday. How do you think it's going to play out with all these rookies and veterans in this race here today, and to who ends up winning this race?
It'll always, as always, it plays a pretty significant impact. But, you know, again, it's Daytona. This is, you know, if you had to throw everything together and see what comes out the other side, this is the one track where that is the most likely to, you know, something always crazy happens here. You know, end of the race, big wrecks, guys flipping down the back straightaway, going 50 miles an hour slower than everybody else. You know, it is absolute chaos here, and I definitely expect that to play into again today. But again, you know, we'll see as this race unfolds, you know, the difference between who has experience and who doesn't. But at this racetrack, I don't think it's going to play as much of an impact.
It's going to be interesting to see who can get it done at the end of the day. Before we begin with this year's Daytona 500, for the first time ever, we will do driver introductions. Here is the starting lineup for the Season 10 NOFSRL Cup Series Daytona 500. Starting 42nd in the number 92 Full Frontal Motorsports Chevrolet from Buffalo, New York, the Season 5 NOFSRL Turkey Hill National Series champion, Trey Smith. Starting 41st in the number 6 Angel Racing Ford from North St. Paul, Minnesota, Christopher Alphaby. Starting 40th in the number 38 American Motorsports Ford from Saukville, Wisconsin, Logan Williams. Starting 39th in the number 11 Buck Racing Ford from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Ethan Lewis. Starting 38th in the number 95 Father Fruit Motorsports Ford from Michigan, United States of America, Tristan Allen. Starting 37th in the number 34 American Motorsports Ford, the Season 6 NOFSRL Cup Series Daytona 500 champion from Texas, USA, Cameron Garlington. Starting 36th in the number 81 Hamill Racing Enterprises Dodge from Oradell, New Jersey, Ace Garcia. Starting 35th in the number 82 Trinity River Racing Toyota from Riley, Alberta, Keegan Thompson. Starting 34th in the number 68 Full Frontal Motorsports Chevrolet from Las Vegas, Nevada, Ryan Durrani. Starting 33rd in the number 77 Otter Island Motorsports Toyota from Ransomville, New York, the Season 1 Daytona 500 champion and Season 2 NOFSRL Cup Series champion, Jesse Turner. Starting 32nd in the number 13 Titan Fury Motorsports Dodge, Season 4 Turkey Hill Series champion, Sebastian Cucalon. Starting 31st in the number 39 NS Blackout Motorsports Chevrolet from Urdaneta City, Philippines, Hairgel Arvin Alonzo. Starting 30th in the number 22 Hamill Racing Enterprises Dodge from Rochester, New York, Owen Miles. Starting 29th in the number 12 Buck Racing Ford from St. Louis, Missouri, Brett Sierra. Starting 28th in the number 79 Otter Island Motorsports Toyota from Middletown, New York, Daniel McMillan. Starting 27th in the number 14 Grattan Racing Toyota from Australia, the Season 7 Daytona 500 champion, Zachary Fitzwater. Starting 26th in the number 18 Grattan Racing Toyota from Newcastle, Australia, Brandon Nelson. Starting 25th in the number 97 NS Blackout Motorsports Chevrolet from Cincinnati, Ohio, Nathan Stapleton. Starting 24th in the number 16 Grattan Racing Toyota from Ottawa, Ontario, Patrick Smith. Starting 23rd in the number 83 Hamill Racing Enterprises Dodge from North Carolina, United States of America, Mason Brown. Starting 22nd in the number 7 Zidell Motorsports Chevrolet from Georgia, USA, the Season 6 Turkey Hill Truck Series champion, Fisher G. Starting 21st in the number 05 Kinghart Family Racing Dodge from Midland, Texas, Nelson Reeves. Starting 20th in the number 80 Trinity River Racing Toyota from Iowa, United States of America, Mitchell Collins. Starting 19th in the number 28 American Motorsports Ford from Portugal, Jordan Lopez. Starting 18th in the number 24, Zidell Motorsports Chevrolet from Pennsylvania, USA, Andrew Miller. Starting 17th in the number 67, North State Racing Dodge from Northeastern Pennsylvania, USA, Nathan Smith. Starting 16th in the number 47, NS Blackout Motorsports Chevrolet from Scranton, Pennsylvania, Joe Rutkowski. Starting 15th in the number 15, Bartow Tuck Team Velocistar Ford from Maine, USA, your defending NOFSRL Cup Series champion, Shane Lake. Starting 14th in the number 66, North State Racing Dodge, LJ Samedo. Starting 13th in the number 5, Father Fruit Motorsports Ford from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Ben Young. Starting 12th in the number 75, Otter Island Motorsports Toyota from Hamilton, Ontario, the Season 4 NOFSRL Cup Series champion, Mr. Matt Dallio. Starting 11th in the number 25, North State Racing Dodge, the defending Daytona 500 champion in the NOFSRL Cup Series, Alexander Rowe. Starting 10th in the number 71, Titan Fury Motorsports Dodge from Stockholm, Sweden, Samet Ozkin. Starting 9th in the number 54, Bartow Tuck Team Velocistar Ford, the Season 8 NOFSRL Cup Series champion, Nathan Baird. Starting 8th in the number 53, Bartow Tuck Team Velocistar Ford from Edmonton, Alberta, Thomas Troxel. Starting 7th in the number 37, Buck Racing Ford from Illinois, USA, Cody Sill. Starting 6th in the number 40, Kinghart Family Racing Dodge from Stopover, Kentucky, Gatlin Downey. Starting 5th in the number 52, Bartow Tuck Team Velocistar Ford from New York, USA, Marty Johnson. Starting 4th in the number 51, Angel Racing Ford from Newcastle, Australia, Brock Nelson. Starting 3rd in the number 48, Zidell Motorsports Chevrolet from South Florida, USA, the Season 2 Daytona 500 champion, Mr. Edge himself, Nicholas Samadio. Starting 2nd in the number 33, Full Frontal Motorsports Chevrolet from Missouri, USA, Eli Bright. And your 2021 Daytona 500 pole sitter, driving the number 99 Titan Fury Motorsports Dodge from Auburn, Maine, Brad Stover. And there is your field for the 10th running of the NOFSRL Cup Series Daytona 500. We are ready to begin here today on this glorious Sunday afternoon in Daytona Beach, Florida. And starting on the pole, as we mentioned just a little while ago, it is the number 99 of Brad Stover. Won the pole position on Wednesday night in Daytona 500 pole qualifying. He will be starting alongside your outside pole sitter of Eli Bright. Then the dual winners right behind them, Nicholas Samadio, Dual 1 winner, Brock Nelson, Dual 2 winner. How about Marty Johnson in an uncharted ride, looking to win a legitimate Daytona 500 here today? Matt, it's a very stout field here at the Daytona International Speedway. Who do you think is going to victory lane in the 10th Daytona 500?
I'm going to probably pick the man, I don't know where on earth he's starting, but number 18 of Brandon Nelson, fresh off of a pretty wild ending to the Body Armor Cup Series Season 1 last year, looking to add that big win to his resume, and this is the place to do it. And I think the Australians definitely, the Australians always do well here, but I think he's going to come out on top here today.
We will have to see what Brandon Nelson can do in his first ever Daytona 500. Over the past few years, though, this race has been won by veteran drivers. As a matter of fact, the last time a rookie won this race was when Josh Marzak won this in Season 5. So it has been a while. Will we get our first rookie winner of the Daytona 500 in 5 years? We will have to find out. It is going to be one heck of a race, no doubt about it. So many big names in this field, so many drivers looking to etch their names in the history books alongside Jesse Turner, Nicholas Samadillo, Zachary Fitzwater, and those drivers in particular looking to do it again here today. But we race. We race to see who wins, and we will not find out who wins until these 50 laps are complete. The pace car will pull off. Season 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series has begun. We're green flag racing in the Daytona 500. Nicholas Samadillo, picking up right where he left off from Thursday night, will lead lap number 1 in the Daytona 500. Bonus point towards the championship for him right there. Right behind him, the guy he almost lost to on Thursday night, Marty Johnson in the number 52. But Samadillo getting the advantage at the start of this race. Here comes Johnson with help from Cody Sill and Nathan Baird on the inside lane.
You Baird off here to an absolutely great start in that the 54 in the middle. Oh my car's in the middle. I'm not feeling great about that right now. That 37 is still on the bottom of the racetrack, just powering through on the inside lane. I don't think he's going to get it quite at the stripe. It's going to be really close though, and now it's going to open the door for Rowe on the bottom in the 25. Oh, that didn't take him long to go 3x3x3. That's we know how that ends here, so let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, Alexander Rowe, you do not want him in the lead here at Daytona. We saw what happened last year when he got the race lead, and he was one of the most dominant guys in last year's Daytona 500 en route to his first ever Daytona 500 victory. Through the middle, he's going to lead the lap. How about this? In his second official Napa fan start, Ben Young in the number 5, and behind him, rookie Nathan Smith. This is completely different than what we saw yesterday in the Turkey Hill National Series. This inside lane is dominant, and I think it's going to be dominant throughout a majority of this event. The pole sitter stuck in that outside lane in Brad Stover, and they keep on cycling for the lead early on here in this Daytona 500. Nathan Smith in the 67 for North State Racing in his first ever Cup Series start to the inside for the race lead. And here comes Thomas Troxel for Velocity Racing on the inside as well in the number 53.
Troxel looking, we know Troxel loves to win in the big races here, and he's already looking to get up to the front in that 53 machine there. Got help from the 05 to 83, a whole bunch of the big teams down the bottom. Hamill Racing, NS Blackout, the 2 Grattan Racing lads down the bottom. So far, everybody's keeping it clean. Lots of guys shuffling in and out of that top position there. A lot of movement so far early in the race. Kind of just everybody on nails right now, trying to see how far they can go into this race. I don't think there's no pit stops as usual.
No fuel needed at all for these drivers. Now, they may come down for tires under a caution if need be. We could see a little bit of strategy in that department, but in terms of the fuel usage, they will not have to worry about coming down the pit lane here today. So it's a strict race from the start to the finish here for this Daytona 500. Nelson Reeves to the race lead. Mason Brown in the 83 up to the 2nd position. 2 rookies to the NOFSRL Cup Series leading this field here at Daytona. You have Nathan Stapleton, Zachary Fitzwater, and your pick to win this race, Brandon Nelson, on the inside lane. At this point, it can realistically be anybody in this field. We got a lot of strong guys in the back, like Cameron Garlington in the 34. Daniel McMillan is back here. Tristan Allen, Jesse Turner, to name a few of the longtime veterans in this series. But Nelson Reeves, all by himself out front for Kinghart Family Racing. It's looking fairly well right now for the 05 machine, but we are still very early on here on this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, now Reeves is off to a strong start here in his debut. Definitely got to like what you're seeing out of him so far early in this race. A lot of guys who Not well. A lot of guys, whether it be in their debut start or in their debut with new teams. Obviously, you got the 14 of Fitzy up there, the 18 of Nelson making.
Oh, I think someone in the back with an issue, maybe. No. My eyes deceived me there. I think I was seeing Ryan Durrani peek 3 wide in the back of the field. My apologies right there for that. Stapleton's now coming with Fitzwater. A couple of long-time veterans of the series. You know, this would be huge if Nathan Stapleton were to win this race. Obviously, hasn't won in quite some time, and Fitzwater may force an issue here on these guys, Stapleton and Brown. They're going to be 3 wide off the corner as Thomas Troxel opens the door for Mason Brown. I'm sure you're proud of that move out of your driver there in the 53.
Yeah, I had a heart attack there for a moment, but that was close. That was very close. But hopefully we don't see too much more of that. Would definitely like to, would love to have a Daytona 500 where we didn't wreck a lot of cars. That I think everybody would enjoy. But so far they're keeping it clean, on edge here through the early going. Nelson Reeves looking very strong to start the race here, and he's got Mason Brown behind him. Dodge, surprisingly, least number of cars in the field, but so far showing out strong here at the front of this race.
Actually, Toyota has the least amount of cars in the field. Dodge does have a few strong teams. They got Hamill Racing Enterprises, Titan Fury Motorsports, North State Racing, and King R Family Racing. So they got a lot of strong cars in their organization. But so does Ford. You guys switched to Ford this year, and Thomas Troxel looking very strong right now on this number 53 machine. Here comes Fitzwater in the 14 for Grattan Racing, his teammate Brandon Nelson. I think we have seen the cycle slow down now, and we're now starting to see these guys solidify their positions in the field. Nelson Reeves, in his first ever Cup Series start, looking very strong right now in this 05 machine. Next time by, not this time by, but the next time by will be a fifth of the way through this Daytona 500 already here in Season 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series. Mason Brown, Nelson Reeves, a couple of rookies pacing this field right now and being very patient with each other as well.
No, they're showing a lot of maturity here early on in this race, which is obviously, you know, we always talk about that, you know, the difference between the rookies and the veterans here. But so far, a couple of rookies out in front, pacing the field very well in the Dodges. Interesting to note, some of the field there up front, they're starting to form more of a 2x2. 3 rows is only middle of the pack there. And it looks like they're kind of spacing out. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Nelson in the sucker hole right now. Got to be careful. That 92 also in the back of the pack there. Watch out for him there. Is that 92 car of...
Trey Smith, who won the Turkey Hill National Series race here last year. So we'll watch out for Trey Smith. He started dead last in this field for this Daytona 500, and here he is on the inside lane, starting to move his way through the field. Right behind him, Logan Williams, another rookie to this race. It's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing cycles out, but you're right. We're seeing a lot of 2 wide now kind of up front. They're starting to pace this race. It's a very long race. We're still very early on here today at Daytona, and there is no need to go too aggressive at this point in the event. However, I think the longer they run like this, the easier it may get for Nelson Reeves to possibly pull away with this one. But we are still very early on. Nelson Reeves still out front. Stapleton in the battle now with Mason Brown as Thomas Troxel and Nathan Smith battle for the 4th position. At some point, and we saw it happen late yesterday in the Turkey Hill National Series race on lap 22 of 30, at some point you would imagine they're going to go 4 wide and not get out of it.
Obviously, you expect it. It is kind of an expected thing here, given this isn't GNS physics. This is Cup physics, so we know that it's going to happen at some point. But, oh, Mason Brown got a little bored of looking at the back end of that Honda Machines 05 a reason. Mason Brown's going to take his shot back to the lead. I think he's going to clear him side by side. He'll get it up the stripe. We'll see how long he can hold it off for. It's going to allow Troxel to get back down to the bottom. See if Troxel can get back up in front of Stapleton, which will open the door for Fitzwater. Obviously, you want to be careful of Fitzwater, given that he shot out of there in the corner or the lower part of there and tried to make it 4 wide. But
he's opening the door for Owen Miles here. Miles in the 22, and thankfully, you know, Troxel's been in a lot of these situations where they could have almost gone 4 wide, and he's been able to find his way out of it. And that's a good sign for Troxel in this race. Meanwhile, Nelson Reeves has gone back to the race lead. How about this? 4 of the top 5 are rookies here in the NOFSRL Cup Series. Nelson Reeves, Nathan Smith, Owen Miles, and Mason Brown. Miles and Brown teammates at Hamill Racing Enterprises, the winningest team in the NOFSRL Cup Series. They are on strong machines right now, and they are going to find their way to that 05. Not only that, the top 4 are all Dodges right now, and then you got a couple of Toyotas back in there. Matt Dalio starting to peek his way inside this top 10. And this is a guy I really look at in possibly winning this race here today, because Dalio has been in all but one of these Daytona 500s and has never even come close to going to victory lane. I'm sure he is very adamant about trying to get this Daytona 500 victory here today, and he's got a great opportunity as he is on this inside lane. Alonso helping him from behind. Mason Brown going to get back to the inside of Nelson Reeves for the race lead as the top 4 are all rookies here at Daytona.
Now, and all the rookies showing out strong here in the early going, but now you see that 75 car down on the bottom of Valvoline machine. Dalio's moving his way. You got the 39 of Alonso. You're starting to see a little bit more of the experience move its way to the front. Dalio's
that was a close one there. Oh, Dalio still opening the door for Alonso, but there's not enough room for that 39 to go. Alonso and Dalio have been racing in this race for many, many years, and I would hope that both of them know not to do that this early on in the race. Watch out here for Stapleton in the back here. He's falling back a little bit here. You got Brandon Nelson, Ben Young kind of behind him. Sebastian Kukulon now moving his way through the field in the number 13. Fisher G there in the 7 as well. And another rookie, Christopher Alphaby in the 6. Great to see him running up front here. And it's still pacing its way through this field. Nelson Reeves has been the dominant guy, but this race is so much far from over. We're only on lap 16 of 50. Now Nathan Smith in the 67 is going to have an opportunity at the race lead. And Nathan Smith has been up here in this top 5 nearly this entire race. I'd watch out for Nathan Smith. He almost won the pole on Wednesday night. He's got a fast number 67 Diet Cheerwine Dodge, and he's going to lead lap number 16.
He has been so far pretty strong here all weekend here in that number 67. Dodge as a whole has definitely shown a lot more speed than I think we thought they were going to have here, but Smith trying to hold out. You saw Reeves, he really just kind of rode that air bubble sitting there in front of the pack for a while, but Smith finally got a big run, and that's going to open the door for Dalio on the bottom. But Reeves is still holding strong on the outside. That 05 machine is just too strong here in the early stages of the... Well, I say early, we are rapidly closing halfway. The pace of this race so far, 220 miles an hour. They are just hauling around the Daytona International Speedway right now. And so far, so good. It's clean. It's been very dicey at for times there, no doubt about it. But so far, so good. It's been clean. Obviously, they're going to wreck in about a lap now that I've said that, but we'll hope it stays that way for as long as it can. Yeah, we're going to have to see how it all goes down. There has never been a caution-free Daytona 500, and of course, as the years have gone by, this race has gotten longer too, so the odds of that keep on getting slimmer. But right now, these guys are running pretty strong. Fitzwater there to the inside of Nelson Reeves for the race lead, and this is a guy who's won this race before and in the wall. Dalio, Stapleton, around in turn number 4, and Alexander Rose caught up as well. Ace Garcia too. A lot of these guys are slowing down in the back of the field, but they're going to get a bit of damage from this one, and just like that, our first wreck of the day in this great American race. Lap number 19, Matt Dalio in the 75, Mason Brown in the 83. A couple of guys who were running up front are pole sitter Brad Stover, and last year's winner, Alexander Rowe, with damage as well. And there is Mitchell Collins, one of the uncharted drivers with heavy damage in his Trinity River Racing machine. Oh, is he going to come? He's not going to come back up in the field. No, he's fine there in the number 80. He will not become an issue, thankfully. But my goodness, just like that. And it didn't even seem like it was 4 wide either. Christopher Alphaby with heavy damage in the 6 machine. And thankfully, I think a lot of guys... Oh, Nathan Baird. You know, it's such a shame. It's been a tough week for Nathan Baird. You may notice that his scheme is different. This scheme commemorating his grandmother, who unfortunately passed away a couple of weeks ago. Our thoughts and prayers with the Baird family. And unfortunately, it looks like Baird may not be able to continue, or at least compete for this race victory in that 54 machine. Ben Young also caught up in this one as well. And Stapleton, Nathan Stapleton, destroyed in the 97. Had such a good opportunity at possibly winning this race, and his chances are done. And Owen Miles as well. That was not a good wreck there for Hamill Racing Enterprises. And I don't think this has anything to do with the wreck. Trey Smith has just blown up in the 92. So that's another guy that's going to be knocked out of this race. Yeah, Trey Smith, I think, judging from the looks of it, I think he was running up front too. So that's a tough break there for that number 92 machine. he was starting to come alive there too. He was starting to weave his way through the field, move up there, see if he was going to have a shot to maybe go at it. But it is now obviously with a lot of cars wrecked out. You know, once we get this restart going, it isn't going to take long for the dreaded. How do we say that?
The dreaded lap machines to get in the way.
As Dustin Davis would like to say, you know, I mean, they're getting in his way, but it's this is now the part of the race, and you're gonna have. Thankfully, the majority of this field doesn't look, out of all the Daytona wrecks, I see a lot of cars that did get away from that. But there are going to be some out there that have some pretty heavy damage, and obviously, as I've just referenced, we all know what can happen here. So it's going to make the rest of this race a little bit more dicey now that you're going to have a lot of slower cars on this racetrack.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but, you know, it's the same thing every year. It's a tough break there for a couple guys in particular. Dallio, like I had mentioned earlier on, you know, has been in this race all but one time. Actually failed to qualify in Season 3, and he's not going to win this year. And Alex Inero, last year's Daytona 500 champion, was just in the wrong place at the wrong time for that one. And our pole sitter, Brad Stover, also caught up. But like you mentioned, you know, some of these guys have significant damage. Others are still out there. I think this is a guy we have to watch out for, though. Nathan Stapleton with a lot of damage. Ethan Lewis in the 11 also with a ton of damage in that Buck Racing machine. And we see a few guys with damage as well. And Trey Smith has stopped on the backstretch. He's going to go back to the pit lane. Well, that's a caution I think Nelson Reeves wanted to see. You know, these guys up front probably okay with it happening, but those guys involved were not okay with it happening. Let's see who did get involved here for the first caution of the day in the 2021 NOFSRL Cup Series Daytona 500. This was yikes. Matt Dallio just, I don't know what happened. Dallio and Brown got into each other. I don't know if Dallio shot up, but then he got into Owen Miles, Brown's teammate. Stapleton in the wall hard. Sam Adio barely avoided this one. Mr. Edge doing it again. Rutkowski, I think, gets out of this one, but then Alex Inero right there gets caught up with Ben Young. Ace Garcia nowhere to go, and Rowe almost goes upside down in the number 25. Ben Young comes back up. Now, the good thing about this, I see Ethan Lewis get around there. Most of these guys actually slowed down. It wasn't as bad as it looked right there. They didn't just power right into all this, but there's just nowhere to go for a lot of these guys. There's Christopher Appleby getting caught up there with Mitchell Collins in the 80 machine, Brad Stover as well in the 99. All in all, I mean, Shane Lake, Jordan Lopez, Sam Adoskin, Eli Bright, I think those guys are going to be fine. Gatlin Downey, I think he'll be fine as well. But for some of these guys, it's going to take out maybe about, I'd say 6 or 7 guys, you know, completely out of the race. And it's going to take, and then we had another pile up here. Eli Bright and Mason Brown got caught up in it. We've seen way, way worse here at Daytona before, but this isn't going to be interesting because we're going to have a few guys out here. I know Alpha B's got some damage. We saw Ethan Lewis there as well. Nathan Stapleton, 97, another guy we got to watch out for because I think he's still out there. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but it could be one of those chess matches here in this Daytona 500 for the race victory, no doubt about it. Tough break for those guys involved, but thankfully it wasn't too violent of an accident. We have seen much worse here before at Daytona.
I just watched a 75 Adelia there. I guess no bonus points there for a massive takeout on Mason Brown. Alexander Rowe, that's I think he had all 4 wheels off the car. At the very least, it looked like he was 3-wheeling it. A lot of big hits in there. We'll say, I mean, we've definitely seen shouldn't say far worse, but we've seen much more chaos at Daytona. That was definitely one of the tamer big ones we've seen, but nonetheless, it's going to leave a lot of damaged cars out there on the racetrack, and we know what that is capable of doing, so we'll just have to see how this one plays out here at the restart. We will.
Before we get to that restart, let's go ahead and go on board with the driver. I think we're going to go on board Alexander Rowe there in the number 25 for this accident here at Daytona. On board, last year's Daytona 500 champion of Alexander Rowe, right ahead of him. Dallio, Brown, and Stapleton get involved in it right there. He gets popped. You see all the carnage there in front of him. Tough break for our defending Daytona 500 champion. He had such a good season last year overall, and there are still 33 races left in this season for him to improve, so it's not over yet for the driver of number 25 or any of these guys involved in this accident. Well, either way, let's go ahead and get to the restart. Nelson Reeves been dominant all day. Will he get this race victory? We'll find out when we get to the restart here at Daytona in the Season 10 NOFSRL Cup Series Daytona 500. We are back here at the Daytona International Speedway, and just before halfway here on this lovely Sunday afternoon. It wasn't too lovely for a certain group of drivers. As a matter of fact, not many guys knocked out from that one. From what I'm seeing here, Patrick Smith is still out there on the racetrack. Last guy on the lead lap, Alexander Rowe, Trey Smith, Mitchell Collins, and Matt Dalio out of the race. But we still have everybody else out there. Guys that we're going to be watching for: Nathan Stapleton, Christopher Alphaby, Mason Brown, Ethan Lewis. Those four guys in particular with a lot of damage. There may be some others who were caught up in that accident. Guys like maybe Owen Miles and Jesse Turner, Nathan Baird, Shane Lake, who were kind of in the middle of that, didn't get too much, who may become an issue later on down the road for our race leaders. The race leader is Nelson Reeves, rookie driver here to the NOFSRL Cup Series, and he has done an excellent job so far keeping this field at bay. But behind him, it's the Season 7 Daytona 500 champion of Zachary Fitzwater, Thomas Troxel, who won a lot of big races last year in third. Nathan Smith in his first ever Daytona 500, and Herjo Larvin Alonso rounds out the top five. Be a pretty big party down in the Philippines if Alonso won here today. We're going to have to see who gets it done. Lap 23 of 50 at the line. 28 laps to go when we cross the line here in the Daytona 500. Pace cars back down. We're back underway in the Great American Race. And Fitzwater already looking down to the inside for the race lead. No help behind him, though. This is going to get a little interesting. I think Nelson Reeves may have a bit of an advantage on this outside lane for the time being.
Reeves is definitely, we're going to have to see there out now. Nathan Smith is going to dart down to the bottom and help Fitzy. We'll see if he can, how far up to the front he can shove Fitzy. Logan Williams, Fisher G getting huge runs there. Now, it's not going to take long for this pack to bunch back up. The real question will be how long does it take them to catch the guys lagging behind the field who are going 30, 40 miles an hour slower. The 6 car of Christopher Alphaby definitely looks to be the prime suspect to catch first, along with Mason Brown. You're going to have to watch out for those guys because they are going to be traveling much, much slower than the rest of the pack is. Ethan Lewis in the 11 as well, but 3 wide up here at the front. The other interesting thing you got to remember too now is that now that there's less cars in this pack, it's going to make it, passing is going to become a little more interesting. It's going to allow Nelson Reeves to hold this lead a lot longer.
It definitely will, and already, oh boy, this is an interesting situation. Are we going to go 4 wide again? There is a hole there for Nathan Smith, and he will find it somehow. That was edgy right there between Fisher G, Thomas Troxel, Nathan Smith, and Logan Williams. And they're going to get edgier as this race goes along, especially with the smaller pack. Logan Williams with a huge run on Fitzwater. And Logan Williams, another rookie, he ran in the Turkey Hill National Series last year, so he's got some experience under his belt, more so than Nelson Reeves. But these rookies have done an excellent job in this race so far. Nathan Smith, Nelson Reeves in particular. Of course, Mason Brown was running up front before he got caught up in that wreck. On the inside, you got a couple of Zidell Motorsport teammates, and if you're wondering where Justin went, unfortunately he had connection issues again. We wish him the very best, and hey, wouldn't it be something if one of his guys ended up winning this race and he didn't know about it until the race went up? Fitzwater looking at the inside for the race lead here, and I'm going to be honest with you here, Matt. I think this race may come down between Reeves and Fitzwater with a huge run. He's going to lead at the halfway point of this Daytona 500.
Fitzy getting his first shot at the lead here. Obviously, we're going to see how it plays out throughout the whole course of this race. It's Daytona, though. Any one of these guys still is going to have a shot to win this race. It's still a good-sized pack. Obviously, they could all wreck again, and that could just completely throw everything up in the air, but it's still a good-sized pack. There's a lot, there's a decent amount of cars still left in this pack, so we'll have to see. But Nelson Reeves, somebody is going to have to show that they can go up there, crack the armor of that 05, and complete the pass and get around him entirely, because so far, we saw Mason Brown lead a lap. We saw Fitzy just there lead a lap. But leading one lap and then getting around that 05 are not the same thing here as we've seen so far throughout the entirety of this race at Daytona.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nelson Reeves has definitely been the class of this field here today. We really haven't seen many Daytona 500s like this where a guy has essentially dominated. But yesterday, Isaac Nichols led 20 laps and didn't get the win. So it isn't over until it's over. That last lap is all that matters. We have, I say, about 20 guys in this pack. Last guy in line is Gatlin down. Actually, 24 guys in the lead pack, so still a considerable amount of guys in contention for this race victory, including guys like Nicholas Samedeo and Daniel McMillan. They're in this pack. Fisher G, Andrew Miller, Tristan Allen's in this pack, and it's going to come down the lap traffic. Garlington back in there as well, and we're going to see where Christopher Alpheby is on the racetrack right here, because he's going to become an issue. He's down the backstretch right there right now. And then a little bit farther up ahead is Mason Brown, Ethan Lewis. These guys in a pack here may not be as much of an issue, and the same goes for this group of drivers. They may become an issue later on down the road. So it's going to be interesting. When we hit that 6 of Christopher Alpheby, who's going to be in the right position? How about Andrew Miller out of nowhere going to the race lead? He was in the booth with us yesterday, and he may have learned something in that Turkey Hill National Series race. To the inside of Nelson Reeves for the race lead. Behind him, it's Keegan Thompson in the 82, and you know Keegan's good at winning these big races. Won the Freedom 50 last year, won the 1,000th race on Napa Fan. And now for this new team in Trinity River Racing, he's going 3 wide for the race lead on lap 29.
Thompson's just sending it down to the bottom there, the inside. He's going to try and get around both Miller and
here we go.
Reeves.
Christopher Alpheby going to get in the way right here. Nelson Reeves in the 05 going to get held up.
Oh, my goodness.
And that may have just been what these drivers needed. Reeves going to get back down to the inside, but now the pack has officially split up. 3 cars in a breakaway. Andrew Miller, Keegan Thompson, and L.J. Sametto. Out of nowhere, these 3 leaders here in this Daytona 500. Still a lot of guys behind, still stuck behind Alpheby. Thomas Troxel back in there. Nathan Smith, Herja Larvin Alonso, Sebastian Kukulon. All those guys on the outside lane have nowhere to go as Alpheby. I mean, he has nowhere to go either. These guys are 3 wide behind him. There's just not enough room for him to move out of the way, but these guys are not going to be happy with Alpheby at the end of this race. And now the chess match begins here at Daytona. How will it all shake out? Next guy in line, Mason Brown. These 3 guys, Miller, Thompson, and Sametto, they should have an easier time getting around this number 83.
The best and the worst part of this Daytona, you know, it makes it, they're going to run right into the back of him. My God, they almost Dustin Davis, Mason Brown almost Dustin Davis the field. Now, this is going to be interesting. Let's see where Reeves is going to catch him right here. Brown goes to the bottom. Oh, are they going to split him? Fitzy's going to get stuck behind him, and that's going to cost him, and the field's going to break away even more now. So now we have 6 cars broken away. Give Fitzy a chance there to get by him. Ethan Lewis is going to be the next slow car in line. It's the tough part about this type of racing here at Daytona. These lap cars really, really break up the field. It kind of, you know, it can throw some, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is exactly what we saw in the duel on Thursday night. This may bring Sametto into the lead. And these lap cars, the closing rate is just so immense here at Daytona, and it seems to have been worse over the past few years. How about this? How about our defending champion, Shane Lake, in the 15? And you may be wondering, we mentioned in qualifying, he's got the orange scheme. Unfortunately, as we mentioned on Wednesday night, his wife unfortunately tested, or should I say, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, or not pancreatic cancer, leukemia, my apologies right there. But the orange scheme commemorating her and her fight against cancer, and we wish the Lake family the very best in her fight. And how about Shane Lake, though, here in the 5th position, starting to close in. He's going to have a very good opportunity of possibly winning this race. Now, a lot of these guys have formed back up, and they may form back up into a pack again. Next guy in line is Ace Garcia, and he's on the opposite end of the racetrack right now, so we may be good for a few laps here. But look at this. Nelson Reeves is here in the 05 machine, up to 3rd now. This 05 is strong, and I don't think these guys wanted to see this 05 back in this lead pack.
And he's going to go to the inside of Thompson by himself. He's going to try and get by the 82. We'll see if he can work the side draft. The inside line can be a little bit tougher to work from the bottom to get around, but he's going to get a shot there, and Miller's going to come down to the bottom, back to the top. We'll see how long this is going to allow Miller to stay out in front, but with Reeves going side by side there, Shane Lake's not going to be able to catch these guys on his own, but if Fitzy, Fisher G, and all the rest of them can get up to Shane Lake's back bumper, they can definitely shove each other all the way back up to the lead pack. And if you get 7, 8, 9 cars in a blanket all backed up together, they are going to run through this front 6 or 7 cars in a heartbeat. So
I mean, they're all essentially still in the draft with one another right now. These are where we're probably going to get some of the fastest times of the race in terms of lap times. And, you know, if they can merge back together, they're going to close in on these 4 guys for this race lead. But right now, the battle is on between Andrew Miller, Keegan Thompson, LJ Semedo, and Nelson Reeves. But I think these guys are closing in right there. They're going to catch up to Shane Lake. Shane Lake's going to have to join this pack. Fitzwater going to clear him right here. And Fitzwater still with a shot at this race victory. You got Fisher G here as well. Owen Miles, Sam and Oskin, Brock Nelson, all these guys going for the glory here today. The only guy inside this top 10 right now who's won this race before is that number 14 of Zachary Fitzwater, but we do also have Cameron Garlington, who's won this thing before in this pack, and Sam Adio is lagging back in there. He's going to have an opportunity as long as the pack doesn't get held up again. These guys are coming here on the top 4. Nelson Reeves looking to the inside of LJ Semedo. Miller's still out front in the number 24 machine. 15 laps to go here in this Daytona 500 for Andrew Miller and Zidell Motorsports, but these guys in the back are closing in fast here at Daytona.
We're probably going to see, I would imagine, we'll see Alpha B. Oh my god, it's going to be probably, we may see him twice. They saw him about 5, 6. We may see Alpha B. They may run into Alpha B twice throughout the remainder of this race. They should catch him in about 2 to 3 laps, which means they could easily cycle out to see him again, lap 47, 48. So this is going to be pretty dicey to the finish. Oh, I thought Fitzy was going to pit there for a second, but Fitzy in that 14, he is dicing his way back up to the field. Wants to win this for the second time. And there are not, if I'm wrong, is there even a list of 2-time Daytona 500 winners?
Josh Marzak, only one. Only ran this race twice. Won both times. Haven't seen him since. But it's going to be interesting if Fitzwater can join Marzak as a 2-time Daytona 500 champion. And now that this pack is back in line, he's got an opportunity. Now the big question is, Alphabe's going to decide which pack gets split up again here. I really wish he'd get off the racetrack, but there really isn't much we can do about that. Where is Miller going to go here? Will Miller get the advantage? Will Nelson Reeves end up back in the race lead? He's looking to the outside here. Here's Alphabe at the line. They're going to run right into him and split him. And that's going to split the pack up again, but we got more guys who got out of it this time. Sam and Oskin, Zachary Fitzwater, and now Joe Rutkowski, who won the Turkey Hill Truck Series Championship about a month ago. They're all in this lead pack now. Logan Williams has gotten around Alphabet, but these guys held up again. Inside lane going to move past the number 6 machine, and all those guys on the outside going to get held up, including Shane Lake in number 15. That's a tough break for the driver for Velocistar Racing. Nelson Reeves on the outside lane of Andrew Miller for the race lead. Reeves was a dominant guy in the first half of this race. He's got an opportunity after the race victory in his first ever Cup Series start, but he's got to get around the veteran of Andrew Miller if he's going to do it here today at Daytona.
And he's going to have to fight hard for it, too, because he's got Thompson around him, Semedo, Fitzy, Rutkowski. You're going to have to watch out for a couple cars here. Logan Williams in that 38, who's just sitting a touch back there, closing in a little bit. I think he's have a shot on these guys. Now, he'll get these guys who are going to pick him up probably in about 2 laps, which would definitely shove him to the front. But
you know, he may actually have the draft on this pack right now.
He may still. We'll have to see at the line. Now, he's going to have Mason Brown to slow them up in about a lap or so. Again, I mean, they're going to run through. If they picked up Mason Brown and Christopher Alphabe in a very quick amount of time, so I'm not going to be surprised. I mean, it's pacing out. They're probably going to see Alphabe and Brown. It's probably going to come down to about 2-3 laps ago is when they're going to see them again. So we'll have to see how this all shakes out. Hey, maybe we'll get a caution. It'll reset the field 6-7 laps to go, and that won't be a problem. But, you know, it's not looking like that. It's looking like they're going to have to weave their way around him here.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see how it all plays out. Andrew Miller has been very dominant as of late. Next time by, 10 laps to go in the Daytona 500 for Season 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series. Here comes Mason Brown in the frame. That was an edgy one right there. Oskin, Rutkowski, and Logan Williams going to get held up. Fitzy still in this pack. Nelson Reeves, LJ Semedo, and Keegan Thompson. Those 3 guys, Miller, Semedo, and Thompson, have been able to get around these lap cars perfectly each time, and they're all still in contention for this race victory. But so are these guys. Oskin, Rutkowski, Logan Williams are going to get around Mason Brown right there. We're going to have a group of guys that get around Mason Brown from this second pack right here. But it's going to be difficult for those guys to close in time. They are about 3 seconds off the race lead. Next guys in line, a couple of guys who do actually have some considerable pace. Brad Stover and Ace Garcia as Nelson Reeves to the inside for the race lead, coming to 9 laps to go in the Daytona 500.
Nelson Reeves going to power that 0.5 Dodge back out front, and I think that's the first. I haven't seen anybody else complete a pass by themselves for the lead here all day today. So that 0.5 is just absolutely on the monorail today. I think
Miller's going to get held up here by Garcia and Stover. But he should be able to peek down. Oh, my goodness. Garcia blocking the 24 there, and there are going to be some choice words at the end of this race between Andrew Miller and Ace Garcia. And Miller really has nowhere to go. He's got to peek down to the inside here and pick up Thompson, so he's not out of this one, but Miller's not going to be happy with Garcia after that move. That was uncalled for right there by Ace Garcia. You got these guys, and considerable pack here, about 7 guys in line trying to close in to our race leaders. They're going to hit Ethan Lewis again. They're going to get around Ethan Lewis. Nelson Reeves, LJ Semedo, Zachary Fitzwater, Keegan Thompson, and Andrew Miller all going to get around him here. How will these guys fare on the lap cars? That's the big question. I don't know if anyone else is going to have an opportunity. It may come down to these 5 guys here in this Daytona 500. LJ Semedo is the teammate to Alexander Rowe, who won this race last year. Will North State Racing win it for 2 years in a row? They very well could. Semedo to the inside for the race lead, coming to 7 laps to go in the Daytona 500.
And also, we're going to see as the clock is definitely running out for the rest of the field to catch up to these guys. And keep in mind, the clock is running out, too, for if they're... Oh, my goodness. Ace Garcia.
Look at this. Ace Garcia, Brad Stover side by side. And these guys getting held up. That's going to essentially seal it for the rest of the field here, given that we don't end up with another quick caution. Alphabet, they're still going to have to close in on him again. But at the end of the day, Nelson Reeves, who was the strongest guy before all this madness started, is still out front. Fitzwater, Semedo, Miller, and Thompson trying to close in on him and have a shot at this race victory. Next time by, it's going to be 6 laps to go in the Daytona 500.
Nelson Reeves has definitely had the car to beat today. He's been knocked out of that lead a couple times, and he's had a fight. He has had the fastest car on this racetrack, no doubt about it here today. Single file for the moment. Fitzy wants to look to take that lead. Oh, he goes to the inside. Power run to the inside. But Miller's going to get... Oh, Miller's going to switch down to the bottom and go with Fitzy for the lead.
Andrew Miller with a great shot at this race victory. He was able to get around Garcia and those guys. Now the big question is, where do they hit Alpha B this time around? We're closing in on the point of no return. That'll be lap 46, so if a caution comes out right now, we'll have a 1-lap dash, but if it comes out past the start-finish line, the next flag ends the race. Fitzwater on the outside, and they're going to split them. I didn't think they were going to be able to do it, but they managed to split them. Now Nelson Reeves going to go back to the inside of Fitzwater for the top position. Now will they close in on these guys? This is a much faster pack of guys who have kind of been on the tail end of the lead lap this entire run. Reeves to the inside of Fitzwater for the top position. Miller and Thompson, I don't know if they've lost the draft or not. They may have lost the draft. That may have just sealed it for those guys, but Nelson Reeves still out front here in the 05. He's been the dominant guy of this race, but Semedo and Fitzwater are not going to give it to him easy. 4 laps to go in the Daytona 500 next time by.
Nelson Reeves, LJ Semedo, a pair of Dodges going for it here at the end
Look
of
at
the
that.
race.
Look
Oh,
at that.
my goodness.
They had the draft, and Miller closing right back in. Miller knows he's got a huge opportunity at the biggest win of his career here in the NOFSRL Cup Series. To the inside, trying to get around Semedo and those guys, but Reeves pulling away a little bit. The big question is, will these guys come into effect? They're all in the draft. They are going considerably faster than our leaders, and I don't think they're going to be a problem, but we're just going to have to see. Next time by, it's 3 laps to go. Fitzwater will get a huge run here on Nelson Reeves for the race lead. Running there in the second position, looking for his second Daytona 500 race victory. It's going to be 3 laps to go this time by here at Daytona.
3 laps to go to settle it here for the biggest win. Second biggest win on probably this whole league next to Indianapolis. And Fitzy wants to go to the bottom. He's going to try and go side by side with Reeves heading through 1 and 2. And I think he's going to get the help from LJ Semedo, and that's going to push him out to the lead here at Daytona with just a handful of laps to go.
And like I mentioned, Semedo, teammate to Alexander O. Alexander O was in a very similar position last year that LJ Semedo is in right now, and I'm wondering if Semedo is learning those things that were taught to him by his teammate. If Semedo wins, it'd be his first career Napa fan win. He's never won before on the channel. Neither has Nelson Reeves. The other three have won before, including this guy who's won 10 times in this series, going for win number 11. 2 laps to go in the Daytona 500 for Zachary Fitzwater. One of these 5 guys will be hoisting the Daytona 500 victory trophy at the end of the day. Who will it be in 2 laps?
I don't know at this point. Any of these 5 guys could still win. If we check out in front of them to check for lap traffic real quick.
Oh, they're going to close in on Mason Brown again.
Uh-oh.
This is going to get interesting here. This pack, they've closed in on Mason Brown. Where will Fitzwater go? Where will all these guys go as they close in on the 83? They're coming to the white flag in the Daytona 500, and they're closing in on lap traffic at the same time. Zachary Fitzwater, where does he go? To the outside lane. They're not going to be able to split him, and it may be between Fitzwater and Reeves. Reeves goes to the inside, and Reeves is going to get blocked by Cody Sill. Here comes Fitzwater on the outside. Reeves going to try to split Sill, and they're side by side with 1 lap to go at Daytona. Zachary Fitzwater, the winningest driver in this series. Nelson Reeves in his first ever Cup Series start. Who is going to get this win in the Daytona 500? Semedo and Thompson still have a shot at this one. They're closing in fast, but I don't know if they have enough time. Zachary Fitzwater, the all-time winningest driver in all of NR 2003, is looking to win the Daytona 500 for the 2nd time in his career. Will lap traffic come into play? No, it will not. 2nd Daytona 500 win. Zachary Fitzwater, Grattan Racing, wins the Daytona 500. How about that for Zachary Fitzwater? His 2nd Daytona 500 race victory. He does it again, and he does it in style here in Season 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series.
Nelson Reeves gave it everything he had there at the end. Fastest car on the track all day. It just didn't work out for him there at the end. The lap cars kind of played into effect once again, as we always see here, but that was a strong showing at the end of the race there for Fitzy. Just turned up the heat when he needed to the most, and he's going to come out of here with his 2nd Daytona 500 victory, joining a very short list with just him and the mysteriously illustrious Josh Marzak as 2-time Daytona 500 winners.
How about that for Zachary Fitzwater? I mean, you know, if there was any guy in those group of 5 near the end who was going to win this race, I think it was going to be Fitzwater, and he made sure he won it. My goodness, the lap cars came into play like no one has ever seen before. But at the end of the day, the all-time winningest driver in this series will pull it off. Zachary Fitzwater, your race winner for the 2nd time in the Daytona 500, and Stuart Grattan winning this race as an owner. You gotta feel for Nelson Reeves. I think if it weren't for the lap traffic, Nelson Reeves would have won this race. What a stellar performance out of that rookie driver here today at Daytona. Great drives out of LJ Semedo, Keegan Thompson, and Andrew Miller. Joe Rutkowski in his first ever Cup race finishing 6th. Nathan Smith in his first ever Cup race finishing 7th. Then Kukalon, Sam Adio in 9th, and Sam Oskin rounding out the top 10 here. How about Marty there in 11th as well? Give a shout out to him. Take a look at the rest of the results. And we only had those 4 guys fail to finish. Only 1 caution here today at Daytona. That big wreck that we had about midway through the race. But all those lap cars that resulted from that wreck ended up playing a huge factor in who got the race victory. But at the end of the day, I think it's a pretty popular race victory amongst everyone. How can you not love Zachary Fitzwater? Once again a winner in the Great American Race of the NOFSRL Cup Series.
No, he had to fight his way to earn that one there. Most definitely. It was, it's never easy. Nothing ever comes easy here at Daytona, and we saw that again here today. You know, we saw all over the weekend tons of racing here at Daytona this weekend, and, you know, he had a fight to earn that one there, and he came out on top. Clutch in the end when it mattered the most, and it scores him his 2nd Daytona 500 victory.
How about that for the Aussie driver, Zachary Fitzwater? I mean, I don't know how you stop him. His 11th career win in the NOFSRL Cup Series. And we had a 20-time winner get crowned on Thursday with Nicholas Samadio. Well, Zachary Fitzwater will join Samadio, Turner, Senor, and John Arnn in the 20-win club here on Napa Fan. And how fitting for it to be Fitzwater to finally get that dub. His 2nd Daytona 500, his 11th in the Cup Series. And my goodness, what a way to begin the season we're just getting started this year here in the NOFSRL Cup Series. And it was a very interesting race, no doubt about it. The lap cars really came into play, but at the end of the day, Fitzwater earned that win ahead of Nelson Reeves.
No, he did. You know, you have to work your way in and out of traffic here. You got to really show up strong here at the end of these races to have a chance to win. And Fitzy, you know, it came in just right place, right time for him. Seems to be a knack for Grattan Racing in general across all series, but you know, came in the right place, the right time, and he comes out of here with the victory today. So, second win here in this race, definitely a massive W for him today.
Definitely, no doubt about it. Well, hey, we're just getting started with the season, like I said. 34 races this season, and that was just the first one. And next weekend, next Friday night, this coming Friday, we'll be at the Auto Club Speedway in the Napa 400. 40 laps of action there for the second race of the season. Last year, Andrew Miller got his first career Napa fan, should I say, Cup Series win there. We'll have to see if he gets to do it again for number 24 in Southern California. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching this whole entire Speed Weeks. It was a lot of work, and there's still a lot of work at the time of me recording this to edit everything, but I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. And hey, thank you guys so much for sticking with me this whole time. God bless you all. You are some of the greatest people I know, and I'm glad I'm able to have a lot of fun with you guys with these races, and we will have a great year here in the NOFSRL for 2021 as we continue on with all the series in this great league. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for just being here. You know, it's been a great ride. And thanks to Zachary Fitzwater for being here since the beginning of all these races that have started. He's been running with me since the beginning like he does with so many other people, and such an honor to still have him running here in the NOFSRL Cup Series, and I don't see him stopping anytime soon, especially after this Daytona 500 race victory. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to Zachary Fitzwater on his second Daytona 500 race victory. And here are the point standings for the NOFSRL Cup Series after the first race of the season. On behalf of Matt Tuck, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and we'll see you guys on Friday night for the Auto Club race, the Napa 400 here in the NOFSRL Cup Series. Thank you guys so much once again, and I will see you guys later!